Hi everyone, my name is Aina. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about confidence, how to be confident. I will touch down on things that I wish I knew when I was younger. It took me some time and some observations. Years old. From my personal experience, from the I wish I knew when I was around 20, 21, to figure things out, and I would like to share with you guys. When I was younger, I used to hear a lot of times confidence is about certain appearance, or it's a certain look, or the attitude. I also used to hear things like fake it until you make it, and like find the person that you want to look like, or the person that you admire, and in a way mimic them in a certain situations or certain scenarios. Now that I'm older, I don't think that's a true confidence, because in the end of the day you can only mimic things up to the point, right? But when you are in a real crisis, or let's say in a very challenging situation, when you would actually benefit from being confident, you don't think about mimicking something, right? Like you don't really have time to remember how a certain person used to act in this situation or not. You're just being your genuine self. So that's why I want to talk about how to be genuinely confident in your own skin. And again, from my experience, genuine confidence comes from acceptance. So confidence equals acceptance. Accepting yourself with all your talents, with all your flaws, with all your past experiences, with all your mistakes that you did in the past and that you are going to do in the future. Inevitably, we are all doing mistakes, we are all going through things. So acceptance equals confidence. Another thing related to the confidence, a lot of people who are truly confident in their own skin, they know themselves. They know exactly who they are. They know what value they hold. They know what's acceptable and not acceptable behavior towards them. They're very clear with who they are. They don't question themselves. If you are younger, obviously you can maybe read horoscopes, go to a psychologist, maybe ask a friend, that helps as well. I remember I used to do that when I was around 22 years old. I used to ask my friends, what are the traits in your opinion I have? What are the talents I have? If you are able to share this with me. These are all good ways to start to know yourself. However, the true knowledge of yourself comes from experience. If you don't have experience in a particular situation, you will not know how would you react. You can only know in theory how you should react or how would you react, but you don't know in reality whether you like something or you don't like something. I will give you an example. Let's say if you never dated, if you never had relationships, romantic relationships, it's very hard for you to know what are your likes and dislikes in romantic relationships. Yes, you can always borrow experience from your friends, from your parents, right? From movies. Yeah, you can sit on an audience seat and sort of watch them and then decide whether you like a particular situation or you don't. I remember doing like that a lot when I was a teenager, because I had older cousins who already was in relationships, stable long-term relationships, or even married with kids. So I would just sit back and watch their sort of relationships play out and make notes whether I like certain behavior, whether I dislike certain behavior. However, that doesn't replace your own personal experience. You still need to put yourself out there and try new things. Another example, you will not know what sort of managers or bosses you work with the best if you never worked in your life. Again, you can only know in theory, but it's very hard to tell unless you actually went for different roles within different companies and you tried, working with different people. That's my point, that the true knowledge comes from a real life experience. Go out there, try new things. Yeah, and I feel like the most confident people that I personally know, they are not afraid to try new things. They know that everything comes to the experience. Not every story meant to end in happy ending. That's another thing to remember. Not everything meant to last forever, but everything in your life is an experience. Everything in your life is an opportunity, first of all, to learn new things about yourself. So as I said, don't afraid to try new things. Go out there, try different jobs before you figure out what works for you and what doesn't. But whenever you feel that things don't work out anymore, don't afraid to leave. That's another mistake that I witness a lot in my life, especially with some of the people that I knew in the past, particularly females. It's so hard for us to leave a situation that no longer works. It all comes back to stability, feeling secure, hoping that things might change, hoping that miraculously someone will come and rescue us. Believe me, no one is coming. No one is coming. It's all in your hands. So when you feel that something doesn't work out, don't afraid to speak up. If the person or group of people are open to change something, they're open to talk about things and then put a new strategy into action, totally fine, let them do that. But if things still didn't change and you still feel uncomfortable, leave. Just leave. Don't stay there. Don't waste your time. Your time is precious enough to not waste it on the wrong people, in the wrong places, wrong situations. The most confident people I know, they never stay in situations, in places that no longer suit them. They're not afraid to say no. They're not afraid to say enough is enough. I'm done. I'm leaving. Bye. I'm good. They're just not afraid to, in a way, stand up for yourself. But it's not even standing up, because I feel like people who truly understand the value of their own time, of their own energy, they also value time and energy of other people. Now I hate wasting my time. I really hate wasting my time. I hate waiting. And that's why every single meeting, every single job interview, meeting with a friend, anything, I'm always 3 minutes earlier, 5 minutes earlier. I'm never late, because I know how annoying it is to just sit there, do nothing and wait for a person. I know how annoying is that. That's why I don't want to put this onto other people. I don't want to put other people in this sort of position, because I don't want our communication or meeting start with a bad note. So that's point number 2. If situation is no longer working for you, leave. Just go. Don't think about, maybe they will change, maybe something will happen and all of a sudden everything is good again. No, it only gets as good as it's right now. Things might get worse in the future, and you don't want to wait for that. And this leads me to my point number 3. Be firm with your decisions. Be firm. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your inner voice. Never dismiss your inner voice. It took me so long to finally realize that I do have an inner voice and that I need to listen to my inner voice. It took me literally years and hours of therapy to finally accept that I do have an inner voice, that I know what's best for me better than anyone else. I shouldn't doubt my intuition. And I remember reading an interview of Rihanna in Vogue. I love Rihanna. I think she's one of the most confident people that I've ever seen. And I remember reading an interview with her in Vogue right after she launched Fenty Beauty. So right after she got successful with Fenty Beauty. There was a line there that stuck in my head. She said, "There is no gray areas with me anymore. There is no gray area. It's either black or it's white. It's either yes or no. And if it's not firm yes, then this is a no." Gray areas are your doubts. Gray areas is when you are doubting your inner voice, when you are refusing to listen to your intuition, and then you are stuck in this environment whether you don't know if you are right, if you are wrong, what do you like, what you want in life, who are your people, what are the places you want to move into, what's the goals. you are just confused because you've been ignoring your inner voice for so long. Slowly but surely, this gray area is increasing, and increasing. You can actually see this in people. Sometimes I go out with people that maybe I don't really know that well, and for some people it takes ages to decide what they want to eat. Have you been in a situation when you are going with like a group of people to a restaurant and you all sort of want to order things at the same time, so the food arrives to the table at the same time? Yeah. Sometimes people take forever to decide what they want to eat. And to be honest, I used to be one of these people in the past. Now, when I look at myself and I see that it's hard for me to make a decision, I always think, if it's not a firm yes, that's a no. Most of the time, there is no right and wrong. There is just a decision and consequences. You just pick which consequences you are happy to work with. That's it. So that's again tied back to my point number 1. Know yourself. Know yourself. Spend some time with yourself. Spend some time analyzing your patterns, what you like, what you don't like. So in the future, that leads to you being very firm with your decisions, very firm with what works and what doesn't. And also, once you made a decision, don't go back. I think that's a big one. Once you made a decision, don't ever think, if I did A instead of B, my life would be so much better now. No, believe me, no. As I said, there is no right and wrong answer. Once the decision is made, done, gone. The moment is gone. Now you have this decision, these results of your decision that you need to deal with. And last but not least, confidence is understanding that you are the most important person that you will ever meet in your life. Your relationship with yourself is a reflection of your relationship with everyone else. You will never be treated better than you are treating yourself. And you will never treat someone else better than you are treating yourself. The most confident people that I've ever met, they clearly know that. They always put themselves first. They always put looking after themselves first. Most of them work out like regularly, almost every day. They look after their health. They have time to spend alone without any distractions. And interestingly enough, their social circle is quite big. Most of them have kids, they have spouse, they run big companies with a lot of employees. So their social circle is big, but it's obvious that they put relationships with themselves first above everything else. Because let's be honest, in the end of the day, one thing is certain: you will have yourself. That's it. The rest is not guaranteed. Will you have your children tomorrow? Hopefully yes, but they can grow up, they can always relocate, they can always leave, and that's totally fine. Your spouse, today you have them, who knows what will happen after 5 years? Nothing is certain. Same goes with your friends. Same goes with your colleagues. Literally nothing is guaranteed, except that we know we came to this life alone and we will leave this world alone. That's all that we know. Some people may think that putting others first is being selfish. In reality, you can't treat others better than you are treating yourself. If you are not giving yourself love and compassion, if you are not giving yourself support and understanding, how can you give others something that you don't have? Impossible, right? If you don't have, let's say, money, if you don't have time for yourself, how can you help others? How can you give time to someone else? If we are talking about genuine love, genuine compassion, genuine relationship, like unconditional love, you can't give this to someone else unless you give it to yourself first. So confidence equals loving yourself, respecting yourself, and putting your relationship with yourself first, which means being in control of your own life, being in control of your own circumstances, getting out of the victim mentality. In my opinion, victim mentality is the worst you can do for yourself and for the people around you. The mentality is when you're constantly choosing other people instead of choosing yourself, but you are doing this not out of the compassion, not out of the unconditional love. You are doing this in hope that they can see you and they can praise you. And as I said, there is nothing worse you can do for yourself and for people around you. I'm talking children, I'm talking partners, I'm talking colleagues, than being in this type of state of mind, when you continuously put other needs first without serving yourself first, without looking after your own health, your own well-being first. People who are truly confident, they totally understand that. If you go to them and be like, look, today I can't really help you out with whatever you need from me because I need some me time, because I'm studying or I'm reading a very interesting book that I want to finish. They will never judge you. They will never blame you, make you feel guilty or embarrassed. Because again, that's what confidence is. They value their own time, they value their own me time. So that's why they can respect you telling them no. In the past, I used to think that being a good friend is always showing up, always rescuing others. Now that I'm older, I realize that I'm a better friend, I'm a better mother, and I'm a better wife when I first serve myself, when I look after myself. By not giving yourself needed time and attention, you are expecting other people to give you that time and attention. If you are not covering the basics, then who will? That responsibility lies on someone in your inner circle. So understanding and respecting that you as a human being need to always put yourself first. You need to give yourself love, compassion, and care before giving this to everyone else is a confidence. I hope this video was useful to you. Hope you will benefit from the thoughts that I shared today. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.